Hey everyone, welcome back. It's like every day we're just bombarded with information, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
News, opinions, social media. It's tough to know what to trust.
It really is. It can be overwhelming, for sure.
And a lot of you have asked for like a deep dive into this whole thing. Like
Mhm.
how do we actually tell the difference between
Mhm.
facts and opinions? So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first things first. What exactly are we talking about when we say fact?
So a fact is basically something that can be proven.
Okay.
Like it's true based on evidence. It's objective,
Mm-hmm.
which means it doesn't change depending on how someone feels about it.
Okay, so it's solid.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
So like water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at sea level.
Perfect example.
That's a fact. We can test it, and it's consistently true.
Right. Facts are verifiable. You can look them up, check sources, even see for yourself.
Makes sense. So then what about opinions? Where do they fit in?
Opinions are kind of different. They're more about personal beliefs, feelings, judgments, things like that. You can't really prove an opinion to be true or false
Right.
because they're subjective,
Mm-hmm.
shaped by individual experiences and perspectives.
Like saying, this is the best pizza place ever.
Exactly. Someone else might completely disagree.
Totally.
Right.
And honestly, their favorite might be better, but that's just like their opinion.
Exactly. It's all about preference. Opinions add a lot to our world.
For sure.
They spark debate, help us express ourselves, all that.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is important, mistaking an opinion for a fact, well, that can cause problems.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is all actually important. But like, why does it really matter?
Think about it. We make decisions all the time, big decisions even.
Yeah.
Choosing a doctor, deciding how to vote, all kinds of stuff.
That's true.
And we're always running into information, right? Some of it's factual, some is just opinion.
Right. Right.
If you can't tell the difference, your choices might not be based on, well, solid ground.
Ooh, that's a good point. It's like you need those facts to build a strong foundation.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just our own choices. Think
Okay.
about the news, social media, even just chatting with friends. Being able to spot the difference between facts and opinions, it just helps you navigate everything better.
So it's like you become a more critical thinker.
Precisely. Less likely to be swayed by, fancy words or emotional stuff.
Like having a built-in BS detector.
Haha, yeah, something like that. It's about developing a healthy skepticism, being a little more discerning.
This is all making sense. But how do we actually get better at recognizing these differences? Like in real life when we're just going about our day.
Oh, there are definitely some things to watch out for.
Okay, good.
First thing, think about verifiability. Can you actually check the information? Is there evidence to back it up?
So if someone says, I don't know, eating this one food cures everything,
Right.
my first thought should be, okay, where are the studies? Is there actual research?
Exactly. Don't just accept things at face value. Look for the evidence. Another clue is the language being used.
Okay.
Opinions, a lot of times, use words that are like emotional, best, worst, should, feel, things like that.
Those are all about personal preference, not objective truth.
You got it.
Like,
Yeah.
this is the best movie ever. That's an opinion,
Eh.
right? But this movie came out in 2023. That's a fact.
Exactly. You're picking this up quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else?
Here's another thing. Think about universality. Would most people agree with the statement,
Okay.
regardless of their background or anything like that? If not, it's probably an opinion.
So just because something's like a popular belief,
Right.
it doesn't automatically make it a fact. People used to think the earth was flat.
Perfect example. That was a popular belief, but definitely not a fact.
Right. So it's always good to question things. for that.
Absolutely. Dig a little deeper, look for that evidence, don't just take things at face value.
I like that. Dig a little deeper.
Always good advice.
Okay, so we've got these tools, verifiability, emotional language, universality.
Right.
But how do we use them in real life? I mean, we're hit with information constantly, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. You're right. You've got to make it a habit, like second nature,
Yeah, okay, I get that.
especially online, right? That's where things can get really tricky.
Oh, for sure.
Let's say you're scrolling and you see a headline that's like super shocking.
Oh, you know it's clickbait.
Probably, yeah. But even for stuff that looks legit, that's when you really got to put those critical thinking skills to work.
Mm-hmm.
Think about who's giving you this information. What's their background? Do they have like a bias? Could that be affecting things?
So if I'm reading an article about, I don't know, a new diet or something,
Right.
kind of matters if it's written by a doctor or a company that's selling, weight loss shakes.
Exactly. You got to consider their motivation.
Yeah, that's true. Are they trying to teach me something?
Or
Sell me something.
right. It's like, is there an agenda here? And even if it seems like a trustworthy source, don't just take their word for it.
Hmm.
Look for evidence. Are they, like, citing research, using real statistics, quoting experts that actually know what they're talking about?
Makes sense. It's like sometimes you see those ads that say clinically proven, but then they don't give you any details.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't know about that.
And you're right to be skeptical. What was proven? By who? Those are the questions you got to ask.
Don't be swayed by those vague claims or, super emotional language.
Exactly. You're getting it.
I'm trying. So it's about looking past the surface level, right? Like peeling back the layers to get to the truth.
I like that analogy, peeling back the layers.
Yeah. Okay, so what else can we do?
Another thing that's really helpful is like getting different perspectives. If
Yeah.
you only hear one side of the story, you're missing a big chunk of the picture.
It's easy to get stuck in that echo chamber,
Mhm.
especially online.
Totally. But if we want to be well-rounded, got to see things from different angles.
Yeah. Even if it makes us uncomfortable sometimes.
Sometimes, especially then. Even experts disagree sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It means there are multiple sides to consider, which is a good thing.
So it's not always about finding the one right answer.
Right.
It's more about understanding all the different arguments, all the nuances.
Exactly. You want to form an opinion that's based on evidence, on considering different points of view.
Not just what feels right or what you already believe, right?
You got it.
Okay, this is all making a lot of sense. But how do we, actually make this a habit? It's so easy to just slip back into old ways,
Yeah.
Especially when you're tired or stressed.
Yeah, it's a process for sure. It takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
Start by, being aware of your own biases. We all have them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Ask yourself, why do I believe this? What's the evidence? Hold your own beliefs up to the same standard.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to ask questions, even if they seem basic. If something's unclear or you're not sure if it's true, just ask. Check sources, look at fact-checking websites, even have a conversation with someone who disagrees with you.
Like a respectful conversation,
Of
obviously.
course. It's about being open-minded, curious. Remember, not everything you read or hear is accurate or objective, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Keep that healthy skepticism going.
This has been so helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm wondering, are there any times when the line between facts and opinions gets kind of blurry? Like when it's extra hard to tell the difference?
Good question. Yeah, there are definitely some gray areas.
Okay, like what?
Things that involve, values or ethics, that can get tricky.
I can see that.
Imagine a debate about a social policy, right?
Okay.
You might have facts about the economic impact, job creation, tax revenue, all that.
The objective, measurable stuff.
Exactly. But then you have people's opinions on if the policy is fair or just.
Right.
Those are tied to their values, their beliefs about, what's right and wrong.
So even if everyone agrees on the basic facts, their interpretation might be different.
Exactly. And in those cases, there might not be one right answer.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the complexity, understanding different viewpoints, and having those tough conversations respectfully.
Yeah, even when we disagree, right?
Especially when we disagree.
It's a good reminder that just because someone has a different opinion,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean they're a bad person. They just might be seeing things differently.
Exactly. That's where empathy comes in. Being able to see things from their side, even if you don't agree with their conclusion.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So what happens when we just accept information without questioning it?
Well, on a personal level, you might make bad decisions.
Okay.
If you're using bad information, you're more likely to make mistakes. You might be more easily tricked, by scams, misinformation, conspiracy theories, all that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It affects our judgment.
And on a bigger scale, when people can't agree on basic facts, it just erodes trust. Trust in institutions, experts, even each other.
That's scary. If we don't have shared truths, how can we work together?
Right. It's a huge problem. We see it everywhere. Politics, health, science, everything. That's why critical thinking is so important.
It's like we need to train our brains to be stronger,
Exactly. Filter out the noise. Focus on what's real.
This has been so insightful. I feel like we've really covered a lot.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I hope everyone listening feels like they have some new tools,
I hope so.
to help them think more critically about the information they're seeing every day.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I like that. Train our brains.
Yeah.
So, as we're wrapping up here, what's the most important thing to remember when we're out there dealing with all this information?
I think it comes down to staying curious, being open to learning new things, even changing your mind if the evidence calls for it.
Oh, I like that. Like learning never really stops, right?
Exactly. And part of that is being able to disagree respectfully. Different opinions, they don't have to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
They can actually help us grow, help us understand things better.
It's not about attacking the person, right?
Yeah.
It's about the ideas.
Exactly. We can have passionate discussions, challenge each other, and still learn from it.
And even when we don't totally agree,
Mm-hmm.
we can still get something out of it.
Absolutely. Different perspectives, they just make our understanding richer, broader.
This has been amazing. I feel like we've given everyone listening a lot to think about.
Me too.
Some real tools to like sharpen their thinking.
That's the hope for sure.
So thank you so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure.
It's been great. Thank you.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. We hope you learned something new today about facts and opinions and how to really be a critical thinker.
Keep those minds sharp, stay curious, and never stop learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Until next time, everyone.